So we're at the point in the story where I can begin to play all my cards. And that's what I'm going to do now. Well, that's what I have been doing. I'll lay in my highest chromas, my most intense light, that sort of thing. Maybe I should just use this smaller brush for a moment. I'm using cobalt. No, I'm using yellow ochre and a hint, a very small hint of ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue, so we're sort of bluish but very warm. Okay, I'm going to sneak right underneath these rocks. Right to there. I think that works. What I'm trying to do is be mindful of where, we had the whole thing that was kind of blah. Very similar values, similar colors from one end to the other. Some minor changes, but not a lot. Now that I'm playing all my cards, now I'm trying to make things pop a little bit. So within this entire area, I'm trying to gather focus in my focal area, in the area where I want people to look. There may still come a slight touch or two in the water for highlighting. Certainly not much. That's a little too, it's too smushy. I want a more direct stroke there. This one. Maybe there. I'll probably go a little lighter here. Yeah, I should do that. Cooler, bluer, but higher value than what's sitting there right now. I don't think I'm going to put any mauve on these rocks. I don't like the idea of having mauves and purples the same, the same palette all the way across on this band. So we're just going to say this is a different type of rock. How about that? And of course, obviously, it's closer. It's in the shade. These rocks, do they get anything? Do they get anything at all? Anymore? I've raised the values here because I wanted the values to be quite high along here, water included, to make this rock pop, actually it makes this pop, because this sort of helps to frame the things a little bit. Oh, we're awfully close. Now let's drop this. Can I do this and still have it on frame? Yep, or in frame. There we go. I'm just going to. You know, it's another one of those cases where I'm just putting a few colors here and there. I raised the value on this rock. I raised the value on these colors just in this area. A little bit here, but not back there, not towards the edge. Yeah, this rock too. Raise the value. Just a hint of raising the value here. I've kept this fairly toned down, but I've gone with yellow ochre and alizarin crimson. Pure alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, and some white, just a touch of white. We have this sort of reddish pinkish cap on them. I like that. Starting to look a little bit like candy, don't care. There's the impressionist part of things, right? And as you can see, I have this very high chroma here. Then I've dumbed that color down, yellow ochre and alizarin crimson, with a little bit of raw umber as we got to our edges here and even down here. The mauves in here, I've stayed with the same colors. Well, actually that's not entirely true. I used a little bit of ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson to make the mauve, and then warmed it up with a hint of yellow ochre and added more white to raise the value in here. A little bit of structure in here. This was too much of a hook, you know, this little piece in here. So got a bit of shape in there. That's improved things. Now what I need to do, from here on, basically, all the painting needs, and it's very time consuming, because you don't want to just glibly and flippantly put strokes in here and there. You know, for me, with this technique, it's an unforgiving technique. So I have to very carefully decide where and how I'm going to lay strokes. I think these trees are all okay. I might break that up a little bit. This one, it's pretty good. Very close. This one needs attention. This is just too flat looking, you know? It doesn't have that same sculpted feel as the rocks and these other trees do. So I need to go and revisit that. And, you know, it's one stroke at a time. Clean the brush, maybe. Maybe 2 strokes, maybe clean the brush, maybe not, I don't know. Changes. Every time I touch the thing, it has to get better. And see, we have this, you know, we have some light catching here. So at the base, the trunk is lighter. It disappears a little bit as it goes underneath these branches. Here, likewise, you know, we need to show that it's a little darker here, but we want to make the bottom of that trunk pop a little bit. The trunk is thin enough. I'm not too worried about a dark and a light side. That'll do for there. Actually, it's a bit strong, truth be told. Actually, it's a bit skinny, truth be told. Okay. So, seeing as I need to work around that trunk, I need to do that anyway. Why don't I just... Oh, I am way too shaky this morning. Okay, that helps. So I'm going to reconfigure things a little bit here. I'm going to add a couple of lines. I'm going to subdue a couple of greens, and I'm going to make other greens really pop, because of all the trees, this is the one, design-wise, that is important, right? We have our highest values, highest chromas right around here. Let's bring that up to the tree. Highest strength, highest chroma here within the tree. Then we end up with sort of you know, we come down, we spread out, come back in and dip into the water and run off to the left. That's the rhythm, that's the motion of the painting, even though it's not a windy day. It's not a depiction of a windy day, that's for sure. So yeah, everything that the painting requires so far, I believe, is from the waist up. That's what I'm going to play with. I won't take you long because there's far too much me sitting back and looking at it and making decisions. But the next time you see the painting, it will be finished. I'll square off just briefly here so you can see through my eyes for a moment. You know what I might even do? Maybe I'll just even level my tripod a little bit in the interest of some sort of semi-professionalism. But you can see that whole glow now, you know? It's coming into its own. This is in a way the most thankful part, the most rewarding part of the painting to work on. You know, even down there on the left, as you can see, the base of the rocks, it's sort of an undercut, sort of a cavern, and at the base of the back of that cavern, I wanted to pick up a little bit of light reflecting from the water up into the cavern. It gets deep, it gets dark on the underside. Little bits of blue here and there, indicating depth, indicating who knows, you know? Maybe somebody melted crayon wax and put it in there. I don't care, don't have to qualify it. I think that the blue itself, I toned it down a little bit, those blue spots, with a little bit of burnt sienna, but you know, what you have is you have that orange and then you have that blue fairly adjacent. The orange on top directly adjacent to the greens. You have a lot more complementary colors going on adjacent to each other than you did earlier in the painting. And now, of course, with the chroma raised in some areas and the value raised greatly in other areas, it's coming together, and now it's kind of there we go. Now that's what I had in my mind's eye. You wouldn't have known that until the thing becomes executed. Not executed, until the thing is painted. Here, you know, I have there, X marks the spot, right? Yeah, I'm going to do something about that too. But you know, you have those little anomalies, those little weird things that you fix up later on. So yeah, some work on that tree, some work in the sky. I'm on the fence as to whether I'll put any more light on it. I think it's likely that I will not, because I believe that will just weaken the painting as a whole. That's it for the moment. We'll talk to you soon with a finished little 16 by 20.